Welcome to Symbl.ai 101. My name is Eric Giannini. I am the lead developer advocate and evangelist at Symbl.ai. I'm here to give you a brief introduction to Symbl.ai so that you can get up and running with our API platform. We're launching Symbl.ai 101 in connection with the Hacker Earth Hackathon. If you haven't had a chance to sign up for the hackathon, the website is hackerearth.com, but we have a short link. It is developer.symbl.ai.hackathon /hackathon, and that brings you to our page. So today is June 17th, 2021, and let's go ahead and get started with the Symbl.ai 101. I think right now what we'll do is we'll wait 30 seconds to a minute to let other members who haven't had a chance to join the stream just quite yet join. In the meantime, I'm going to transition to this slide to introduce you to our hosts. As I said earlier, I'm Eric. Along with me is Akansha Basan. Akansha Basan is Symbl.ai's community advocate.
Hi everyone. I hope you are enjoying the hackathon time. We are really excited to have you on board with us. And in the meantime, just a heads up, from which city are you joining in? Maybe you can write it in the chat section.
Do we have any members of the stream joining from different parts of the world, Akansha? Akansha?
Yeah. I was saying we have Rishabh from Lucknow. Hi Rishabh. We have Shakti from Rajasthan. Great to have you here.
Welcome.
We have Perijoy from Kolkata. Next, we have Rituraj from Kolhapur. Hi, Rituraj.
I thought it was Calcutta. It's Kolkata?
Yeah, earlier it was pronounced as Calcutta. Now it was changed to Kolkata.
Oh,
Earlier it was C. Yeah.
not Calcutta, Kolkata.
Hi, Balaji. Love from India.
Oh, wonderful. It must be late in India.
Yeah. Close to 10 p.m.
After dinner time, right?
Yes. So
ask everyone if they're able to see me. Do you guys think that I'm in a well-lit area?
Yeah, perfect.
Wonderful. And how is the microphone? Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Wonderful. Now, are you able to see my screens clearly?
Yes, it's visible.
Wonderful. Is it crystal clear or is it blurry?
It's crystal clear.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah.
Do we have more people from other parts of the world joining now, Akansha?
Yes. Only these much introductions. And Balaji had made a compliment. Nice shirt, Eric. Can we get the same?
I received this T-shirt from the CEO, Serbi Rathor, and I am still wearing it today. I washed it a couple of times though.
Yes, and we recently launched a Twitter giveaway. You can check the details at Symbl.ai. I can paste the link. So
Should
it's
we
like 5 people will be rewarded.
Should we check out that link? Is the tweet visible?
Yes.
Wonderful. I'm at the Twitter account right now.
Yeah.
Is this
Giveaway low.
talking? Oh, whoa! Quite a few retweets. Um, so
Yes.
follow these 4 steps to win Symbol AI swag. Oh, whoa! Are you talking about this T-shirt?
Yes.
Wow, it's rising in popularity. Um, I'm gonna have to ask for more swag. Oh, cool. We've got quite a few people who reached out on the giveaway. Manav, Harshi, Esha, Sak- Saksham, Rutam, Kartiki, Yash, Namam, Siddharth. Oh, Siddharth is from WeHack, right?
From Hackon. Yeah,
Hack
he
on.
joined.
Okay, wonderful. Cool.
Yeah, he's part of our Symbl AI community.
Oh, wow. A lot of
Yes.
people.
So we will be announcing the giveaway results on 20th June. So stay tuned. 5 winners will be picked up using a lucky draw. So so
Cool.
it looks like Shakti has already done, and he's really excited to win. All the best, Shakti.
Thank you, Shakti.
Mhm.
All right, wonderful. So it looks like we've got quite a few people on the stream already. I'm going to go ahead and move forward to the next slide. Before we get started, I want to make sure that everyone feels comfortable with what we're planning to do. If anyone starts to fall behind, best thing to do is to send out a raised hand emoji along with a question that's blocking you from moving forward. We'll go ahead and we'll make sure that we stop to try to answer your question so you can keep up with us. If you're unable to follow along today for whatever reason, most of the information that we'll present will be saved in a YouTube video that you'll be able to access later. In case you do want to follow along, we're going to be taking very, very, very simple steps to get up and running with Symbl AI in Postman. Postman, in case you don't know, is a developer tool designed for API developers to test out or to use APIs in an application. So it basically sets up the requests and sends you the response data inside of an application. And we're going to get set up with Symbl AI's collection, Postman collection in Postman today. And then we're going to talk about the async API and conversation APIs. And then we're going to do a WebSocket example. Cool. So the first step is to sign up for an account at Symbl AI. I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. I've got the platform.symbl.ai/login link right here on a Chrome browser. Aconcha has a link to a promo. The promo code will give you 3,000 minutes and 3,000 words. This is 2,000 more than what you usually receive when you start out with an account at Symbl AI. The promo is designed to facilitate developers developing submissions for the Hacker Earth Hackathon to have enough runway to create a winning submission on the Hacker Earth Integrate to Disrupt Hackathon. So after I get my login and password, I just press sign in. Now, for those of you who want to use the single sign-on, our engineering team enabled single sign-on for Google and for Microsoft a long, long time ago. You can sign in that way. I'm just going to do regular email and password sign-in. After that, you get the peace sign over here on the left. You get your API credentials and your app secret. You also have an opportunity to check out our brand new API Playground. API Playgrounds are designed to facilitate activation. You have a chance to hit the API endpoint without having to set up a curl command or create a web app that handles HTTP requests or responses. You can do that right here inside of the platform page. Cool. I'm going to go right back to the home section, and I'm going to grab these API keys and credentials, and I'm going to go over to my Postman app. Cool. Right here is my Postman app. Now, just in case you haven't had a chance to set up Postman, right now, Akansha is going to go ahead and drop a link into the chat so that you can grab Symbl.ai's workspace collection. A workspace collection, I'll tell you right now, for those of you who are just now getting started with Symbl.ai's Postman workspace collection, is basically a set of folders, and inside the folders you have requests, API requests, and that's how Postman organizes its collections of APIs. It's really organized effectively because you can group API endpoints into folders so that they have like a logical separation. I'm going to give you guys another 30 seconds to a minute to get started with the link that Akansha shared. And then I'm going to show you a really developer-friendly feature that exists in Postman for creating environment variables that can be used throughout an entire collection.
Yeah, and I've also dropped a promo link for getting 3,000 minutes.
Wonderful.
Instead of using the above link, you can share the latest one.
Wonderful. Did you happen to share the link to the Postman collection, Akansha?
Yes, I've shared it.
Okay. And I just want to make sure that everyone who's on the stream is able to see my screen. Are you able to see my screen crystal clear, Akansha? Or is it blurry?
Yep, it's clear.
Okay, wonderful. I do have the ability to enlarge it just a bit more if it's not visible. Cool. I think that's pretty much enough time to get people to download the Postman workspace. What do you think, Akansha?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So over here is the credential area. And when I grabbed my app ID and my app secret, the place to put those is here. You define a variable called app ID and app secret, and you set the values for those variables to the credentials you received upon login into the platform. And the way to set that up is to check out the body. Those variables that we just defined inside of our credentials appear inside of the body of our post request in the following format. Cool. So after I do that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to press send. And after sending the credentials, I get a token that will expire in 86,400 seconds. And with this token, I'm now in a position to hit or make a call to the other API endpoints. Now that we're authenticated, I think it would be a great idea to discuss what Symbl.ai is. We just talked about how to get started with Symbl.ai. I'm going to give you an overview of Symbl.ai's APIs. We're going to make calls to a few of the API endpoints. We're going to talk about the conversation API, and then we're going to give a demo of the streaming API. So in case you didn't know, Symbl.ai is a conversation intelligence platform for developers. We have a suite of APIs that enables developers to create apps that in some way or other understand natural human conversations across multiple channels. These channels are video, audio, and text, or they can happen in real time or they can happen asynchronously. We have APIs and we also have extensions for such things as AWS Connect. We can connect into Chime calls. We can connect into Zoom calls. We can connect into streams. And we're also domain agnostic. So we can connect into streams. We can connect into different domains without a problem. You don't need any upfront training. In terms of the domain agnosticism, our product works with AWS. It also works with Twilio. It works with Agora. It works with Trello, or it works with Jira. It works with many of the different third-party software as a service SDKs or APIs that are available. Cool. So before I go into what you can do exactly with Symbl.ai, I want to go back over to Postman, and I want to go through a few of the API endpoints to give you a hello world example with a post conversation experience. So I'm going to go back over here to Postman. And as I told you earlier, there are folders, right? You have an async folder here, a telephony API folder, a conversation APIs folder, management API, labs API. Our async API folder is one of three source types. Essentially, Symbl.ai runs on WebSockets. It runs asynchronously, as I will show you in just a second. It also runs on telephony, PSTN or SIP. We won't be demoing those today, but you can feel free to demo those later if you'd like. So if you wanted to upload a file for post-processing, that is like after an event has occurred, Symbl.ai has three ways to do that. You have the text API, the audio API, and the video API. Now, what's special about the audio and the video is that in addition to being able to submit a file, you're also able to submit a file through a URL, which is really helpful if you're using webhooks or you want to grab a meeting from some other service without having to set up the part of your application that would pass whatever is contained within the URL from that part to Symbl.ai. You can just drop in the link. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on the text API short transcript, and I'm going to go to the body, right? And right there, I've configured a payload. The payload is a message, and inside of it has content and content type. And it also has from, the name, and the user ID. And we can pass this information over to Symbl.ai for processing now that we've authenticated. Cool. Looks like it took an inordinately long period of time for some strange reason. I won't be able to explore why during this stream, but we can certainly follow up later. What is key about the result that we received from the API call is that we received a conversation ID. Our conversation ID gives us the ability to access the conversation from a different set of APIs. We discussed how the telephony API and the async API are both source types. We'll show you the other source type, WebSockets, later. Conversation APIs are the bread and butter of Symbl.ai. And I say that they're the bread and butter of Symbl.ai because they are the ones that provide us with the analytics or the results of the algorithms that we apply to the conversation data that we pick up after adding Symbl.ai to some stream, be it a call stream, an audio stream, a video stream, or a stream like the one that we're watching right now. Now, to check to see if our Hello World example made it to Symbl.ai, right, which we don't really have to do because we've already got a conversation ID, we can nonetheless hit the message API, and the message API will give us information about the message. Now, you can also grab topics. However, topics arise from conversations that occur at length. The Hello World example is an example that doesn't have a conversation occurring at length. So it won't be great to hit the topics API right now, but we have blogs about how to visualize topics in Postman. We also have a questions API for conversations. If, for instance, you're in a call where there are a lot of questions, you could automatically loop through the detected insights, such as questions, to pipe those questions back into something like Slack or Discord, so you could have a post-meeting summary of questions that occurred during a conversation. The same is for follow-ups, the same is for action items. As we discussed in previous streams, you can take those detected insights directly into a third-party service as software as a service, such as Trello or Jira. We also have analytics that run on different aspects of a speaker's conversation. We also have an experience API. So in terms of what we had just come up with from the Hello World example, I'm going to go ahead and send a post request to create a post meetings summary. When I do that, I get a link, and I'm going to go ahead and grab the link, and then I'm going to go over to a browser, and I'm going to drop it in, and it will show us the details of the conversation that occurred under this conversation ID. You get the date, the time, the duration of the call, a shareable link if you want to share your conversation with your fellow interlocutor or with other colleagues, and then you get the name of the attendees, and most importantly, you get the transcript and what was said at what time. It's important to note that what is said at what time is significant because Symbl.ai provides you with timestamp data. Timestamp data is time series data. We won't talk about that more advanced topic today, but for those of you who are aware of what you can do with timestamp data, please feel free to reach out to us. And with the close of our async example, we want to invite you to Slack just in case you might not have been able to follow our trajectory from one API endpoint to the other before we move on to other aspects of Symbl.ai. Akansha Bashan is going to go ahead and drop a link into the chat for you to join our Slack channel. If at some point during the trajectory of API endpoints that we just traversed, you're unable to figure out exactly how to go from one step to the other, please join Slack by hitting the link that Akansha dropped in the chat. Akansha, are there any questions before we head over to a discussion of the platform and what to do with Symbl.ai?
No, we don't have any questions.
Okay, wonderful. Are you still able to see my screen crystal clear?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, perfect, wonderful. And am I still audible?
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. I just want to make sure. So what you're looking at here is essentially a schematic of directions that you can take with Symbl.ai's API platform for developers. If you are thinking to create a submission for the Hacker Earth Hackathon where your aim is to disrupt technology industries existing right now, or to hack out a great working POC of a new idea that you have, here are a couple of ways that you can start out on your journey. If you look over here on the left, these are essentially streams or sources of conversation data. Voicemail is a source of conversation data, voice over IP, video, audio, SMS, chat, emails, or live transcription. You can transfer these into streaming, you can transfer them into recordings, you can transfer them into real time, or you can do batch processing where you have multiple conversations occurring simultaneously. You want to create an example where Symbl.ai will run over all of these conversations in parallel simultaneously. You can do that, and you can do that with a specific intention. You could do it merely for the sake of automating speech recognition, where you're trying to pick up on all of the different pieces of information that come in a conversation, so you don't have to remember them. You will let the computer store that information for you. You can also track or pick up on specific things in a conversation. Symbl.ai allows you to pick up on specific things in a conversation by creating customized vocabularies called trackers. And these vocabularies are contextual, so that they feel out not just the words that are inside of the list, but also things that are related semantically. You can also create a situation where you're analyzing conversation data, like we mentioned earlier, with questions, follow-ups, or action items. You could also be doing speaker recognition properties, like a speaker ratio. What was the duration of the call, as opposed to the speaker's duration of speaking during that call. There are also other parts to speaker recognition properties. And then you also have contextual insights. One of those things is topics. We also have experimental APIs, which we haven't had a chance to update in this specific schematic. One of the hard problems in natural language processing is summarization. Our team has provided a solution to summarization that you can access right now in Postman with the current collection. The summarization problem is a great problem because there are so many masses of data that a summarization API is really useful for reducing those masses of data into small, readable, brief pieces of information that help us understand the greater context of a conversation. And in terms of other end results, if you look on the column on the right, there are a lot of different other end results. And these are not just real-time tracking and personalized intents, but also being able to derive specific pieces of information from a conversation that may occur during the course of a conversation. A great example is that if you're onboarding a set of employees, you might want to track their questions and then loop over them to determine whether or not those questions have a similar pattern, and then huddle back and figure out what would be a better way to onboard in the future to avoid having to encounter the same pain point. You also have, as an end result, accessibility and conversation intelligence powered search. One of the use cases that I really like is conversation intelligence enabled workflow automation. If you saw a recent announcement by Postman about how Postman had recently added a voice enablement feature, Symbl.ai is also a tool that you can use to enable voice automation processes. The example that I came up with was, or that the CTO of our company came up with, is creating JIRA tickets from contextual insights such as action items automatically by Symbl.ai merely passing the action items detected in a conversation over to Jira. So it automates the creation of tasks without having to go into Jira, open up tickets, and then drop in a title, drop in the payload. Symbl.ai can be configured to do those things without much extra work. And then you also have content moderation and distribution. Many of the players in games are underage. You want to make sure that you create a healthy gaming culture by moderating content so that the underage gamers are not subject to toxic behavior, are not harassed, bothered, or annoyed by trolls. And then you also have real-time ACE or async coaching. You also have conversation quality and analytics. Cool. Are there any questions about Symbl.ai as a platform and what prospective results you might be able to achieve? Do you see any questions coming up in the chat, Akansha?
Let's wait for 1 minute.
Okay.
Yeah. If you have any questions related to use case that you want to build in the hackathon, feel free to drop questions in the chat, or maybe anything you want to know more about Symbl. Let's continue. Maybe we can take the questions in between.
Okay, wonderful. Great. So we got started with Symbl.ai. We covered the async API and conversation insights. And now we're going to go ahead and go to the streaming API. Cool. So if you haven't had a chance, please head over to our docs, docs.symbl.ai/docs. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take this example from the tutorials under the streaming API. And it's a live speech to text and AI insights in the browser. So to get started with the WebSocket, there are basically three elements. The first is the access token, the second is a meeting ID, and then the third is the actual endpoint itself, right? So our WebSocket is configured in much the same way as all of our other APIs. You have api.symbl.ai/v1, and then you have the rest of the API endpoint. So after you've created those three constants, right, the next step is to set up listeners. Listeners are great because anytime that there's a change in state during the course of a conversation that is enabled on a WebSocket, the onMessage function or method will be fired, and whatever application logic you would like to have configured inside of an application to respond to messages, topics, or insights such as questions, follow-ups, or action items, you configure here. The example that I discussed earlier where you pass a action item to Jira would happen here where you detect an insight. So this is the onMessage event listener. There are other event listeners on air and on close. And then you also have a method for starting the WebSocket connection. Inside here, you can determine the enablement of contextual insights such as questions or action items. And then the next step is to enable the audio stream. By enabling the audio stream, you are allowing the application to grab the microphone. And then once the microphone is grabbed, you enable the browser to handle the audio stream. And then finally, if you wanted to stop, you would run this code. So what we're going to go ahead and do now is we're going to go ahead and we're going to grab the full code sample. And we're going to go ahead and open up another browser. Go to the home page. I'm going to do Option Command J, and I'm going to open up the console. Now, there's just one more step before we get into the WebSocket itself, and that is to drop in the access token. So I'm going to head back over to Postman, and I'm going to go over here to the place where I generated an authentication token. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab this authentication token, and I'm going to go back to the console. I'm going to drop it in there. And then I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit enter. Cool. So as I'm speaking, some of you may not immediately see that messages are enumerating on the left. That is because if you haven't enabled this particular setup to access your microphone just yet, the prompt will prompt you to set up the microphone. And then once you allow that permission to happen, your messages will begin to enumerate on the left. So let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of the logs that are occurring here. Let's see if we've got a topic response yet. I don't see a topic response just yet. We may have to enter into the WebSocket training data. Let me scroll all the way down to the bottom. Great. I have to create a document. I have to complete an action item. Uh-oh, looks like the stream. Oh no, it's still going. Wonderful. Okay. Okay, perfect. So we have now some topics. You have topic response access. It looks like the enumeration of the messages, WebSocket training data, and action item. Let's see if the insight detected during the course of the Great. So that's quite a bit of data that the WebSocket has collected. And already we have another response access. We have another topic enumerating. So if we take this back to what the objective of the hackathon is, you can take the information that is detected during the course of the WebSocket back to some kind of third-party software as a service and create a new experience around whatever it is that has been detected in the conversation, like the topics that we just saw. At this point, we've saw a lot of different messages, and we have seen the topics. Does anyone have any questions about the WebSocket?
We have one question from Balaji.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any way we can record the system sound from independent applications? Do you have any idea on this?
Which type of sound, Akansha?
Record the system sound from independent applications.
System sounds from independent applications. What does he mean exactly by system sounds?
Balaji, could you add more onto this?
Oh, great. So as we're speaking about Balaji's question, I want to note that we picked up an insight, and the insight is a question: what does he mean exactly by system? And you could take this particular insight and you could pipe it into Slack or Discord, create a real-time meeting update or post meeting summary. Has Balaji clarified yet, Akansha?
No, we are still waiting. I guess system sound maybe from the laptop that we are catching, I think.
Okay. Well, in an instance where the WebSocket is enabled for a stream, like the one that might occur in a call for audio or elsewhere in a stream like the one that we are on right now, the WebSocket is enabled to detect changes in state on that stream. So any kind of change in state, like any kind of message that might arise during the course of the WebSocket's instantiation would be picked up by Symbl.ai. It would be ran through our system so that our system could detect topics on the basis of that change in state, or the contextual insights like the ones that I mentioned earlier that you saw as detected insights here from our logs. I would say there is a way. There's probably more ways than our team has been able to demo. On that note, it might be a great idea to show Balaji the GitHub repo.
Yeah, and he also has add-on to it. He's not talking about the system sound, like he's talking of external. Like here we are recording the WebSocket, it's through our microphone. Let's say we have another tab where YouTube video is playing, and we want to get insights from that YouTube video. I think he's talking about that.
If the YouTube video is a stream, like the one that we're seeing streamed into YouTube right now, then most certainly if the WebSocket's enabled on the streaming service, there shouldn't be any problem. But I want to direct Balaji over to our demo applications in the GitHub repo before the end of the stream. If you guys have any questions, you probably want to save those for Slack right now as the stream is coming to an end. Symbl.ai has a Symbl-powered Agora real-time engagement application built primarily in TypeScript. We also have a Symbl Twilio video React application. Before I go on to the other applications, I want to mention that for Agora, we're fully enabled. We have an Android application, we have an iOS application, we also have a JavaScript application. So for any kind of application that you might want to build with Agora, you are already set to start. We also have other demo applications. We have an adapter for Chime. If you're familiar with Amazon Chime's streaming service, Symbl.ai is capable of being added to a Chime stream. The application that you would use to create new experiences around Chime is right here, the Symbl adapter for Chime. We also have examples for Zoom. Zoom is something you can enable not just with PSTN. You can also enable it with RTMP. And then we also have tools, developer tools. One of the developer tools is to convert messages to an SRT format. And we also have a speech recognition evaluation tool. So there's a lot of different demos and tools that we have available on Symbl.ai's GitHub account for you to use to get up and running with Symbl.ai or to kick off your submission. Go back over to the WebSocket that is still tracking the conversation. In case you guys wanted to check out a few of the conversation APIs after you started your WebSocket connection, the logs we created for the WebSocket in this particular demo do print the conversation ID. So you can grab that and you can go back to Postman to check out exactly what conversation API results you might be able to derive from your WebSocket connection right now. If there are no more questions, let's go ahead and wrap the stream up. Akansha, are there any questions?
No, not at the moment. Yeah.
Wonderful. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to recap what Symbl.ai is. Symbl.ai is a conversation intelligence platform for building experiences around conversations that extend beyond merely transcribing the conversation to picking up things such as contextual insights, questions, follow-ups, or action items, topics, or deriving sentiments, a topic we didn't have a chance to review today. In addition, we have experimental APIs such as a summarization API. We also discussed Symbl.ai APIs and how to build with them. We showed you tools and we also showed you demo code. We discussed the conversation API and we showed you how to get up and running with the WebSocket stream. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and direct you to a few of our resources, docs.symbl.ai/docs. And then you also have some GitHub repos here that we discussed earlier. And then key among those links is the link to the Slack community channel.
Yeah, and I've just dropped a document which has all the links in it.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
Are there any more questions?
No.
Okay, fantastic. I think that's pretty much it. Since there's no more questions, we'll go ahead and we'll wrap up the stream for today. And we'll look forward to hearing from you either in terms of your submissions through the Hacker Earth Symbl.ai Integrate to Disrupt Hackathon or in Slack. We look forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you.
Yeah. And thank you so much for being a fantastic audience. And if you feel stuck, there's a support channel in our Slack. You can ask your doubts. And do tweet your experience using the hashtag Symbl.ai. And you can tag us on our Twitter channel, Symbl.dev. I'm also dropping the links. And if you want to connect with me or Eric, you can connect with us on Twitter and LinkedIn. Thank you, Ruturaj.
Thank you.
Okay.
Great. We'll go ahead and close the stream now.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.